As requested, in this episode we discuss how our cultural identities affect us as women of colour living in the UK.
So I'm half Ghanaian, my dad is Ghanaian and my mum is Ugandan, but I was born in the UK.
I'm Nepalese and I was born in Nepal and I moved here when I was 11.
Where do I start? So my dad's side of the family is Nigerian, and my mum's mixed race, and her dad's Somalian and from Sierra Leone, and then her mum is Irish, and she grew up in Wales. So there's a lot of different cultures there. I think my mum always claimed Somali more, so that's like the culture, that side of things from her side. Also step Jamaican.
Pushing it now.
Well, my stepdad is Jamaican, so I feel like a lot of that culture was influenced in my upbringing, because he came into my life when I was 11, and I was born in the UK as well. I'm British, mate.
She goes to the pub.
I go to the pub every now and then. The way these guys explain it, you'd think I'm an alcoholic, but I don't even drink really. So yeah, but that's me.
I was born in the UK, but my dad is from Jamaica and my mom's from Barbados, Caribbean, repping. I really identify strongly with my Caribbean side. I would consider, when people answer where I'm from, I would say all three, really. I say I'm British, Jamaica, and from Barbados, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Does it depend on who's asking?
Yes, it does. For some people, when they're really, I want to wind them up. Actually, I've got a story about this. This guy goes, "Where are you from?" And I said, from the UK. He wasn't accepting it as an answer. And when they don't accept it as an answer, I'm like, okay, you're going to have to accept this one. And then they were like, oh, like, where are your parents from? And I said, oh, well, my dad's from Manchester.
From the ready.
Manchester is a place in Jamaica. And I think my dad were actually from Manchester, Mandeville, repping. And he wasn't accepting it. I was like, so yeah.
That's funny.
I like that.
That's hilarious.
I feel like, because I feel like it's such a loaded question now for us. Like, it's not just like, where did you grow up? So like, sometimes I'm like, do you mean like, where do I live? Where did I grow up? Or why am I black?
It's always a latter. It's always why you're not white.
I'm like, which one are you asking me?
Well, if a black person's answer, it's like, are you Caribbean or are you African? That's basically what they're trying to ascertain.
It's true.
I always just say I'm Nigerian though, straight away, because it's just the easiest one to explain, and then I'll only go into more depth if someone's like, are you?
You really don't look Nigerian.
Yeah, because I don't have, I guess, the authentic Nigerian features. But that's what I mostly am. Do you know what I mean?
What you identify with the most?
If I'm being honest, I identify most as like
British.
I'm British, mate.
No, because obviously I didn't have my Nigerian influence strongly when I was growing up. Like, obviously I saw my aunties every now and then. My dad wasn't in the household. Saw my gran every now and then. But the influences that I had growing up really were my aunties that were either from Sierra Leone or Somalia, and my stepdad who's Jamaican, and my mum's actually British as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause she has some, but she also was born and bred in the UK in Wales. So yeah, whereas my stepdad, if we're talking about culture, he was born in Jamaica. He's got a bit more. He'll sometimes, if he's shouting at my little brothers, a bit of patois will come out. Do you know what I mean? So like that's
what you grew up around.
Yeah, that's actually what I grew up around, more so than my Nigerian side. But I will claim Nigeria. I'll be like,
that's a true Nigerian right there.
Yeah,
Honestly. Nigerians love being Nigerian.
So yeah, I'll claim that all the way.
Interesting. I definitely identify more with like my Ghanaian side, but that's because none of my mum's family were here and all my dad's family were here, so we grew up around Ghanaians literally.
Yeah.
So in terms of like music, food, and everything, like culture-wise, it was all Ghanaian stuff.
Yeah. See, even my food's Jamaican. I can cook more Jamaican dishes.
So
as
she's
well.
Jamaican.
Yeah.
In conclusion.
Jamaican.
No. In
Introduce
conclusion.
yourself.
Yeah.
But recently I've learned how to cook fried rice, guys. So the Nigerian side is coming out.
Do you ever feel British?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't even have indefinite leave to remain, so absolutely not. I was thinking she can't be talking to
I was
me.
just thinking because
I even thought.
I was because Samia
was
said
literally around.
she identifies as
Yeah,
British.
yeah,
Naima said she's British, mate. So I thought I would ask you as well.
I would
Have
love
you
to
ever?
be, but I still have to spend a few more £1,000 before I get there.
But do you want to be though?
Absolutely.
Do you,
Do you know what?
Let me want to get it, like the citizenship, but do you want to identify as a British person?
Because
Oh,
you can
no,
do that
that's
without
what
having a citizenship.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That can be right
I
now.
wasn't
I just
asking in
wanna-
terms of like actual citizenship.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Entirely.
I personally feel like
She's going underneath the blanket.
I was gonna say something and I thought, oh, this sounded a bit scammy. But
It can be edited.
I was gonna say, I feel like people who have a British passport underestimate the power of a British passport.
Yeah.
And the reason being, yeah, like, we can all say, yeah, like, surely it's easy, but even to come to this country under a visa, actually very difficult.
And very
And, like, very expensive. This is why people who want to get out of their economy, like in Asia, mostly South Asia, actually, because Eastern Asia is really rich, but mostly South Asia, they can't even make it to the UK because they don't have enough money, so they have to go actually work in Qatar and, like, UAE, and they die there because of the extreme conditions. So that's why I think, seeing that, I'm just like, I would love to have a British passport because it's actually it's the most powerful passport in the world. But would I ever identify as British? No, because Britain would never identify me as British.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? Like, in terms of that, and I don't think culture-wise, it's always having to make myself more palatable, whether it is through my accent. Like, there are even institutions that have capitalized on this. You know, there's like an accent college where you go there to lose your accent.
No way.
Yeah, to
That's
sound more
crazy.
confident and stuff, and stuff, right? And like more acceptable, because if you go to an interview or like whatever, it's just our thoughts around it, I guess. But if you hear somebody who has like a British accent, you assume education of a certain level.
Yeah.
Especially a southern.
Yeah, Southern British accent
Yeah.
as opposed to like whatever else it might be, which is terrible. So yeah, like I think always have to make myself more palatable. But I did identify myself as British. I think I'm Nepalese through and through.
Do you?
I don't think I do, which is weird because I was obviously born here and I've been raised here. But then the issue is I can't fully claim either of my parents' countries because I don't even speak the language. So it's quite difficult. But I
No
don't
man's
think
land.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like I'm British. I think the thing is the Black British
You
culture.
Can,
I
yeah.
would say
You're a part of.
I can say I'm part of that, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm British.
But
for
that
me,
is
the
being
black-
British.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm.
Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
because
I would say
But
that.
then I'm British
No, I
too.
thought you guys
Yeah.
meant like the
British, like
British
white
culture.
British.
But why is it separate?
There's no less sorry. We have to be
No,
honest. There's a big
there is a big
difference.
No, but why? No.
no,
Let me land.
I'm
Wait.
sorry. It's a British thing to do.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
British. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
There's like, you know.
Yeah, no, I completely. Can I just say? So, when I think about it, right, why should I not identify as British? Because people are telling me that there's a certain way to act to be British. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like when you're thinking, oh, that it's a separate British. Britain should be, at the end of the day, you colonised all of the world.
Yeah, we're all British.
We're all British, fam.
You're actually
I will
right. I hear that.
claim it. And
the whole world.
yeah, do you know what I mean? So like, and also as well, especially from like a Caribbean perspective, like I remember I was watching the whole Windrush thing, and the Caribbeans call Britain motherland.
Yeah. No, they do.
And
Makes sense.
do you know what I mean? I'm just like, what? Yes, I'm Black British, but why do I even have to? And it's the same in America. Like every person who's not white has a thing in front of American. So it's African American, like Latin American. Do you know what I mean? So why do I have to say I'm Black British? Of course I'm Black British. I can't get away from it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm British because this is the culture that I grew up in.
Yeah.
I have nuances that are
I like
because
that.
I'm British. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, saying I'm sorry and stuff like that. The little.
I just finished eating my
I don't even
crumpets. I'm very
associate
British.
that.
Can you imagine saying I'm sorry but you're not? The lion is British culture.
No, but you know, but the way it's even like my cousins were laughing. So my cousins who from the Nigerian side, they were laughing. They were like, "Why do British people always say I'm afraid?" Before
That's very good.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid we won't be able to do that today.
You know, why are you scared?
I feel on edge. That's so true.
So do you know what I mean?
Why are you frightened?
There's little things like that you. I feel like you just got like there's like you know the hashtag growing up British.
Yeah.
And it's like being excited to sit on the bench when you get to year 6 in primary
Yeah.
school. Like that's a British experience.
Yeah.
Like why do I have to separate that from myself because I'm black? I don't.
No.
I don't
I
think I
think-
should have to.
I think what's part of the British experience is having so many different cultures. And so even like music, British music is, you know, comprised of so many different types of genres, but they're all still British music and I still listen to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I claim British.
It's interesting
Okay,
because
okay.
I think people want to separate us and put us in boxes. So even when you mention the whole music thing, a lot of the time, black artists, whether
Black artists.
they'll be in the urban,
yeah.
which is the modern day N-word. Really?
It's true. The corporate N-word, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the
urban sector.
yeah, like even because I remember Tyler the Creator, he's not British, but he was talking about how he was like, what makes my music urban?
It's true.
Yeah, it's just the
And-
fact
Like I'm black.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I just think it's interesting, and I don't want to subscribe to because I'm black I can't be British.
that's not
That's
it.
not what
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You go.
I think there is a difference between black British and British because my African influence is involved in my black Britishness.
Okay.
I'm trying to say, like, for example, when it comes to going out or like how you speak to your parents,
Yeah.
there's that element of being African or whatever that I have in me that has come into my British upbringing.
Yeah.
So me as a black British person will have a different experience because of my African
I agree.
heritage
But
and my
doesn't-
African parents.
Does that just make it
So we'll never-
multifaceted?
That's why I'm saying I'm third because I am British. Because if I leave the country and I'm doing stuff, people will tell I'm British. Even
Even your accent.
even my accent. So I
Yeah.
can't disclaim that. Even just small nuances in my behaviour. Queuing, I will queue. And if you go to different parts of Europe, they won't be queuing. I'll be the only one making the one man queue.
London buses.
Nobody queues.
Really? They
Yeah.
queued back in the day when I lived there.
No, it's changed.
Really?
Yeah.
But guys, deep it. Even
And shout
just
out.
having that conversation, Reading culture is different to London culture.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
And you have to acknowledge that there are differences in how.
Yeah,
we
there's differences, but you don't. People from Reading and people from London don't know.
Will you claim if you're from Reading, you can't say I'm from London?
I do. Say that. When the underground reaches our house, when it reaches Reading, I will be saying I'm from Greater London.
I grew up in London. So.
You're not very
Okay,
London.
well, Shreya and I don't claim London.
I work in
I don't
London
really claim
technically,
London.
Should
so
you claim you're from London?
absolutely not.
Hey.
I don't.
But my point is, right, there are always subcultures within a culture, and our Reading culture is different to London culture. Same way my black British culture is different to British culture.
But Reading and London are just like Reading's just a town and London's just a city. They're like they are.
But my point
I
is
don't
that there are
get the
different
comparison.
cultures between
To-
them, and there are similar cultures between them.
Yeah.
And the same way there are similar cultures between me and a white Brit, there are differences as well.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
So
but,
I don't
that,
really have to claim that I'm British.
but I feel like putting black in front of British is subscribing to the whole.
We're different. We're
Yeah.
others.
If you're not white, you're not
British.
it.
No, I believe I'm different to a white British person.
No, but no, but what I'm saying is,
She's like, I am the other.
no, I'm not saying you're the same. What I'm saying is, British shouldn't mean white British.
Then we
Yeah.
should all say we're residents of the world because that's the broadest term we can use to describe
Really,
ourselves.
truly. We
But
all
what
are.
I'm saying
I
is,
agree.
if we're talking about personal identity,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying I identify
What does
as.
British mean to you?
Okay, in my head, British culture is pubs, drinking,
God.
drinking tea. Drinking tea is actually
She
British,
drinks.
and I do drink tea.
But
But I'm black
You
British.
asked me for tea.
Black British. There are there are black cultural things about me and British cultural things about me.
I hear what you're saying, and I believe there is a list of things that make people British. But I'm just saying you don't have to tick off everything in that list to consider yourself to be British.
I think it's just about what you feel like the core.
That's what I was going to say.
And if I don't feel like the core that I'm British,
so what do you
feel?
It's
not by force.
Yeah.
I'm African. I don't feel like I can say I'm British, but then if I was in Ghana, I'm British. Yeah. That's why I asked you earlier, like, does it depend on who's asking? Yeah. Because if I'm there, I can't claim that I'm... They're calling me foreigner. Yeah. Because that's what I am.
And that's why I claim a third.
Yeah, fair enough.
See, I agree with what Serena saying about how you feel. Because I do think there's a difference between being British and not even... What's the word I'm looking for? Expat. Because we decided we would not say immigrant. But like being either your family or like, you know, 2 generations on whatever originating from a different country, because you come from a line of culture, and the culture of Britain is very individualistic, whereas where I, like in Nepal, for example, this whole idea of like, oh, when you turn 18, you know, you're on your own, that's care home unheard of. Like these things we don't subscribe to, and I would never subscribe to. So that to me feels like a British thing, and it's not just a British thing, it's a Western thing. Because in Asia, what it is you look after your parents, so they live with you, like, which is why I actually don't want to, like, for example, I don't want to move out until I get married, and that is actually Asian culture, which would seem very like weird to even you guys. Do you know what I mean? But that's a normal thing, and I'm happy to do that. It's not like a forced thing. I actually don't want to move out, even though I want my mum to come with me. Really, actually. But that's like...
I think I get what you're saying, but like if I didn't have 3 siblings, maybe I'd stay. It's a lot in my household.
Yeah. That if you weren't close with your mum, maybe you'd have a feeling. But I get what you're saying.
But I think even with that, like that's one part of it, right?
The culture instilled
in
you as well.
And then the second part is obviously like looking after your parents, whatever it might be, like extended family. You actually joint family is a normal thing. Oh, yeah. It's only quite recently that people have lived with just immediate family. Normally it's a massive house, like with different wings, and then everyone and their family lives under that house. And that's how it is, which again, so that's another part of it. And also like things like you know, whatever it might be, like talking back, or like being able to actually say at 18, like, I'm 18, I can do whatever I want. It's not a thing. And like things like that. And I think being able to kind of, that individualism, I think is British. Whereas when you don't, and that's a core part of Britain, because that's what it was built upon. And it's this almost over not expressing yourself, but still kind of having that arrogance to assume you're the best. That's why you have this individualism about you, because you have to kind of think, I get to think about me because I am good. Because if not, then you don't have that about you anyway. So I think that is quite British, and I don't think I'm British. I have the British accent, I think. I sound British, but also maybe this is because I can speak the language, I can speak my language fluently without any Anglicism. So if I go back to Nepal, they wouldn't know I'm not from there if it wasn't for the way I dressed. So sometimes my mum likes to just throw words like, oh, you've forgotten your culture. And it's things like that, and it's easy to do that, so I get what you mean. But I don't think I would, maybe my children's children would say they're British. But me, I moved here when I was like 11.
Our kids will.
When I moved here when I was 11, I don't feel British.
Yeah, but that's why I didn't question you. That's why I was questioning Serena a bit more.
It's true.
Not just to question you, but I was like, you were bored. Like you have.
It's not.
You have no. Because for me, I'm like, I have nothing else really to compare it to. Like, so for me personally, I'm like, what you're saying, I agree. And even like growing up, I felt like my upbringing wasn't completely white British, but also wasn't completely African either. So like I was somewhere in the middle. I could compare myself to like my British friends at school, who like one girl was able to go on holiday with her boyfriend at like 16, and that was like and then like, and I remember saying my mum would never let me. She was like, why? And then I asked my mum, I was like, are you mad? Like, do you know what I mean? And then like on the other hand, like my like obviously friends, like obviously other friends who are Nigerian, who their parents had like a vice grip on them, and my mum was a bit more lenient. So
what's the difference?
And in the middle,
your parents were born here.
That's the It's different. That's why I'm saying.
that's
So your
different.
child
So
probably
my-
will.
Yeah, my children
Same.
will. But
Yeah.
for me,
Dad was not
it's
born here.
different.
Was your mum
But
born
your
there?
mum was
My
your
mum was
main
born here.
Primary
carer.
caregiver.
Yeah, and I think maybe your parents had more British culture in them. My parents, like, they came, they were fresh to the country.
Yeah.
So, like, it might be different. That might be why
Yeah.
it's different for me.
Maybe your child probably will feel more British because that's all they've ever known.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know about.
I definitely clock the difference with my auntie
Yeah.
and uncle. Like when they speak to me, I'm like,
I'm shipping my child off to Nepal for the first few
You're
years.
not British
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what does
Maybe
British
that's
look
why.
like to you?
I don't know. For me, I'm just like, I don't know why I'm British, but I am.
I like.
That means you just feel
I'm
in your
just
chest.
no because because deep here. I was born here. I was raised here. If I now, I can't actually directly claim any other country. I've not even visited half of the places that I'm from.
It's very long.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, for me, it's like being British. Like, for example, I remember when the World Cup was on, I guess I was in the pub watching it, and I got judgment from my friends.
No,
We laughed at you.
Yeah.
there was no judgment.
There's never
Just a
judgment.
lot of pointing humour.
And I remember this guy that I was working with who's from Zimbabwe actually, and he wasn't born here, and he was like, why are you supporting England? And I was like,
Really?
what do you
country.
want me to support?
You've got a long list, to be fair.
No,
You
but
can
like,
go through them.
first of all, England were doing well.
Yeah, I really thought it was coming home. I was shouting it's coming home.
I was shouting it's coming
Me
home.
too. I was in the pub
And
too.
And I was enjoying it, and I just thought, why can't I just accept it all? Like, I think that's the beauty in being like having obviously different ethnicities and having parents from different countries. I actually think that's a beauty. I think it's a privilege that I get to say I'm British and I'm also I can
It's like there's Bayern, 20% Sierra Leone, 20% Cyprus,
I would maybe
50% Greece.
No, I just think we should be able to accept it all. Like, I'm definitely on your wavelength, but it's just like it's all a part of me. Like I cannot say that Britain hasn't shaped a part of who I am as a person.
Yeah, I hear that.
And it's definitely, I definitely would be a different person if I had been raised in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean?
100%.
So I can't not claim it in my eyes.
In my head, yeah, British culture is being able to bring your significant other home and on holiday with you, and you go to the same bedroom and you lock the door.
And that's why I'm not fully British.
That's right. That's the line. The line is like.
For me, the Britishness, there's loads of
Never
standards.
once.
The way I dress is so British. I go to the Caribbean now and they know I'm British just by the way I dress. I love it. I love there's so much freedom with my clothes, being British. Also, just for me, a lot of things I take from British culture, there's not much to be proud of, but women's rights, I'm so proud of. And I'm grateful for the opportunities I have as a British woman, because my cousins in, for example, Jamaica doesn't have the same opportunities, so I have to claim Britishness there. But I still can, claim the other countries.
Yeah.
For example, if I go to Barbados and start, it's different. I can't do that. And if I go to Jamaica and I start saying, "Can I have a cuckoo?" they'll be looking at me strange. So I just adapt to all of them, and I take a bit of all of them. But sometimes I go into, because I don't go to the pubs on an often basis, but I would go in there and I'm like, "Am I going to die today?" Because that's how uncomfortable I feel. I was like, "Is this the people that are going to attack me?" No, because some of them
I don't know
are very.
what pubs you go to.
Whoa, why would you die?
Because I walk in and all these men, they stop drinking their pint.
Yeah. No, I've been in pubs like
and I'm
that,
like,
and
okay,
it's
no.
really uncomfortable. You can feel
EDL's
your
just
outside.
coming.
You can feel your outsiderness. But there are actually pubs that are kind of like, I guess, family pubs that are a bit more relaxed.
Well, you know
and
what
I've been to
is
some
so
nice
key, because that's how to socialise. So
yeah,
that
it's
is
a
part
very
of the British
it's a very
culture.
British way of
That's how
actually
to socialise, which is
socialising.
why at work, the work drinks and
Alcohol,
they'll go to the pub, they'll go, do you know what I mean? But it might be different for different cultures.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's very...
Even like, I feel like a big part of like maybe not Black British, but a big part of like African culture. Socializing is done in the church almost, like fellowship. And,
It's
like,
true. That's why you meet all of your
yeah,
significant other.
that's
There's also parties because I feel like you can literally bond with people from dancing, and that's a part of our culture.
Yeah,
because
that's so
you can
true.
literally not know someone, but you're doing up as Zonta Warrior
Having
and
the
you're
best
besties
time.
by the end of the night.
I think that
There's
this
different ways
culture
to
is
connect.
everyone knows everyone.
Because
Everyone.
they've heard about you through the grapevine.
Everyone. Everyone knows everyone. There is no meeting. We all know.
Do you think your community is strong in this country? Would you say so?
Very flippin' too strong. Way too strong. But I think it's fake community. Talking to you there. You know who you are.
She's calling people out.
No, I think the issue is, you know what? I think instead of focusing on I think in terms of community we have strong numbers and we have charities and we do all of this stuff together. There's this almost oneness. Like if you go to a Nepalese restaurant in Nepalese, you get 25% off in the bill. Like you get a discount. It's just a done thing.
You need that.
That's nepotism.
No, that's
We
the right
need
thing
some
to
of
do.
that.
Yeah, we're failing.
Yeah, that's just
Like Black people could never.
that's what's done and
They'll probably charge more.
it's just a thing and you just call everybody uncle, auntie. So there's
Yeah, we have
unity.
that.
There's a unity there.
Definitely.
And in terms of community, yes. However, I feel like one big issue is there's a lot of you can't see somebody's progress without almost feeling offended by it. Like, why wasn't that my daughter? Why wasn't that my son? And there's a lot of competitiveness, especially when it comes to kids. I don't even think it's each other. It's actually kids. People really use kids as racehorses. And it's like, how many GCSEs did you get? How many A-levels did you get? Oh, she's doing medicine. Wow, my son is doing X, Y, Z. Like, it's just a lot of that, which then means that you lose the essence of community. Can I just say, if Home Office are watching, I definitely do want the British passport. And I think
Something to be proud of.
to accept your passport and have my name on it.
So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know in the comments what you thought of everything we discussed and if you have any other topics you'd like us to delve into in future.